JMJC Radio,
news,
sports,
wrestling,
and much more. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 2 of JMJC Radio. I am your host, Jeremy Chaput. First up, we have celebrity deaths. Kelly Malone died January 24th at 47. He played in the CFL for the Saskatchewan Roughriders in 99, the Calgary Stampeders from 2001 to 03, the Montreal Alouettes from 04 to 05, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers from 06 to 09, and the Edmonton Eskimos in 09. Ice Train died January 23rd at 56. He wrestled in the WCW from 1993 to 94, 96 to 97, and 2000 to 2001. Gary Graham died January 22nd at 74 from cardiac arrest. He was best known as Ambassador Soval on Star Trek Enterprise. Steve Staggs died January 21st at 72. He played in the MLB for the Toronto Blue Jays in 77 and the Oakland Athletics in 78. David M.G. died January 20th at 77. He was best known for playing Stephen Flyboy Andrew in Dawn of the Dead. Andrew Harris, son of Pawn Stars owner Rick Harris, died at 39 due to a drug overdose. Moving over to NHL news, Corey Perry has signed a 1-year, $775,000 contract with the Edmonton Oilers. Carson Soucy is out 5 to 6 weeks with a hand injury. Carter Hart has gone on indefinite leave of absence for personal reasons. Chicago Blackhawks have signed goalie Peter Mrazek to a 2-year, $8.5 million contract extension. The Philadelphia Flyers have signed Owen Tippett to an 8-year, $49.6 million contract extension. The Colorado Avalanche have signed Zach Parise to a 1-year, $825,000 contract extension. Philip Chytil is out for the remainder of the season. Jack Quinn is out for 8 weeks with a lower body injury. The Vancouver Canucks have signed GM Patrick Alvin to a multi-year extension. Adam Fantilli is out 8 weeks. And finally, the Calgary Flames have traded Elias Lindholm to the Vancouver Canucks for Andrei Kuzmenko, prospect hunter. Don't ask me how you say his last name. Look it up. I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry. Prospect Joni Jurmo, a 2024 first-round pick, and a conditional 2024 fourth-round pick. In NBA news, the Charlotte Hornets have traded Terry Rozier to the Miami Heat for Kyle Lowry and a 2027 first-round pick. Tristan Thompson has been suspended 25 games for doping. Milwaukee Bucks have signed new head coach Doc Rivers to a contract that will last through the 2026-27 season worth around $40 million. Marc Gasol is retiring after 20 seasons. Moving over to the NFL news, the Philadelphia Eagles head coach has let go of defensive coordinator Sean Desai. The Chicago Bears have hired former Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator Shane Waldron for the same role. The Jacksonville Jaguars are hiring Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator for the same role. The Carolina Panthers are promoting Dan Morgan to president of football operations and GM. The Tennessee Titans are hiring Cincinnati Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan as their new head coach. The Las Vegas Raiders have hired Tom Telesco as their next GM. The LA Chargers have hired Jim Harbaugh as their next head coach. The Carolina Panthers have hired Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive coordinator Dave Canales as their next head coach. The Atlanta Falcons have hired LA Rams defensive coordinator Raheem Morris as their next head coach. The Chicago Bears have hired Buffalo Bills assistant head coach and defensive line coach Eric Washington as their defensive coordinator. The Atlanta Falcons have hired LA Rams pass game coordinator Zach Robinson to be their new offensive coordinator. The Cleveland Browns have hired Ken Dorsey as their next offensive coordinator. The Atlanta Falcons have hired LA Rams assistant head coach Jimmy Lake as their new defensive coordinator. The Green Bay Packers have hired Boston College's head coach Jeff Hafley as their new defensive coordinator. And the Seattle Seahawks have hired Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator Mike McDonald as their new head coach. Moving over to NFL action. February 11th, the San Francisco 49ers will be playing the Kansas City Chiefs at 6:30 p.m. for the Super Bowl. Yesterday in NBA action, the Portland Trail Blazers beat the Milwaukee Bucks 119-116. The Phoenix Suns beat the Brooklyn Nets 136-120. The OCT beat the Denver Nuggets 105-100. The NOP beat the Houston Rockets 110-99. The Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Dallas Mavericks 121-87. The Orlando Magic beat the SAS 108-98. The Miami Heat beat the Sacramento Kings 115-106. The Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Detroit Pistons 115-108. The Chicago Bulls beat the Charlotte Hornets 117-110. And the LA Clippers beat the Washington Wizards 125-109. Today in NBA action, the LA Lakers take on Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers take on the NYK at 7. Both those games start at 7:30 p.m. The Cleveland Cavaliers play the Memphis Grizzlies at 8, and the Philadelphia 76ers play the Jazz at 10. Yesterday in NHL action, the Anaheim Ducks beat the San Jose Sharks 3-2 in overtime. The LA Kings beat the Nashville Preds 4-2, and the Ottawa Senators beat the Detroit Red Wings 3-2 in overtime. And there are no NHL games until February the 5th. Now moving on to sports standings. Here are the current NBA standings for the Eastern Conference. In first, we have the Boston Celtics, 37-11 record. In second, the Bucks, 32-16. In third, the Knicks, 31-17. In fourth, the Cavaliers, 29-16. The 76ers, 29-17. The Pacers, 27-21. The Heat, 25-23. The Magic, 25-23. The Bulls, 23-26. And rounding out the top 10, the Hawks, 20-27. In the bottom 5, in this order, we have the Nets, 19-28. The Raptors, 17-30. The Hornets, 10-36. The Wizards, 9-38. And the Pistons, 6-41. Moving over to the Western Conference. In the top 10 in this order, we have the Timberwolves 34-14, the OCT 33-15, the LAC 31-15, the Denver Nuggets 33-16, the Sacramento Kings 27-19, the Phoenix Suns 28-20, the NOP 27-21, the Dallas Mavericks 26-22, the LAL 24-25, and the Utah Jazz 24-25. And in the bottom 5 in this order, we have the Rockets 22-25, the GSW 20-24, the Grizzlies 18-29, the PTB 15-33, and finally in 15th, the SAS at 10-38. Moving over to NHL standings, first up we have the Metropolitan Division. In first, we have the Rangers, 30-16-3 record, 63 points, 1 game winning streak. In second, we have the Carolina Hurricanes, 28-15-5 record, 61 points, 3-game winning streak. In third, we have the Philadelphia Flyers, 25-19-6 record, 56 points, 5-game losing streak. And in the fourth, we have the NYI with 2017 and 12 record, 52 points, 3-game losing streak. Moving over to the bottom four, we have the Pittsburgh Penguins, 22-17-7 record, 51 points, 1-game winning streak. The NJD with 24-23 record, 51 points, 2-game losing streak. The Washington Capitals with a 22-18-7 record, 51 points, 4-game losing streak. And in eighth, the CBJ with 16-24-10 record, 42 points, 1-game winning streak. Moving over to the Atlantic Division. In first, we have the Boston Bruins, 31-9-9 record, 71 points, 2-game winning streak. In second, we have the Florida Panthers, 31-14-4 record, 66 points, 4-game winning streak. In third, we have the TBL with 27-18-5 record, 59 points, 3-game winning streak. In fourth, we have the TML with a 25-14-8 record, 58 points, 3-game winning streak. And in the bottom four for the Atlantic Division, we have the DRW with 26-18. 6 record, 58 points, 1-game losing streak. The Buffalo Sabres, 22-23-4 record, 48 points, 2-game winning streak. The Montreal Canadiens, surprise, surprise, 20-21-8 record, 48 points, 1-game losing streak. And the only team doing worse than them, the Ottawa Senators, 20-25-2 record, 42 points, 2-game winning streak. And for those of you who didn't listen to the last episode of this I did, usually Montreal is last in the Atlantic Division. Moving over to the Central Division. In first, we have the Colorado Avalanche, 32-14-3 record, 67 points, 3-game winning streak. The Dallas Stars, 30-13-6 record, 66 points, 3-game winning streak. In third, the Winnipeg Jets, 30-12-5 record, 65 points, 3-game losing streak. And in fourth, the SLB with 26-21-2 record, 54 points, 1-game losing streak. In the bottom five, we have the Nashville Predators with a 26-23-2 record, 54 points, 3-game losing streak. The Yotes with 23-22-3 record, 49 points, 3-game losing streak. The Wild with a 21-23-5 record, 47 points, and a 2-game losing streak. And no surprise here, the Chicago Blackhawks in 8th place in the Central Division, 14-34-2 record, 30 points, 4-game losing streak. And finally, moving over to the Pacific Division. In first, we have the Vancouver Canucks with a 33-11-5 record, 71 points, 1-game winning streak. In second, we have the VGK with a 29-15-6 record, 64 points, 1-game losing streak. In third, we have the Edmonton Oilers, 29-15-1 record, 59 points, 16-game winning streak. And in fourth, we have the LA Kings, 23-15-10 record, 56 points, 1-game winning streak. And in the bottom four, we have the Kraken, 21-19-10, 52 points, 1-game losing streak. In sixth, the Flames, 22-22-5 record, 49 points, 1-game winning streak. In seventh, we have the Ducks, 18-30-2 2 record, 38 points, 2-game winning streak. And no surprise here, in 8th place we have the SJS, also known as the San Jose Sharks, 14, 32, 3 record, 33 points, 1-game losing streak. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Thank you for listening. This has been JMJC Radio with your host, Jeremy Chaput. And as my 2 sayings always go, always shoot your shot before it's too late, and always tell your loved ones you love them, because you never know how much time you have left with them. Goodbye, everyone. Talk to you next time.